People tune into Hard Fact every day. We discuss in-depth stories with sources behind the facts.
The Lagos State High Court has convicted, suspended the Chicago certificate. So it's never going away, is it? Show with stories for the day.
You hear diverse voices and opinions.
And she was meeting campaign with her husband, knowing that. You should not feel happy because there is nothing to happy about.
Yeah, it's quite pathetic the way the country is going.
We distinguish each story accurately with analysis.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is Hard Facts.
.3 Nigeria Info. 4 minutes come past the 5 o'clock hour. It's still the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. I am Maryann Okon, and we're still trading the protests across the country where conspicuously some states have not recorded any form of protest, like Zamfara, the southeast, almost all of it, certain states in the southwest, and of course a few other states. I've not heard anything from Delta. I've not heard anything from Edo. But we've seen more and more from videos from Lagos, from Kano, from Bauchi. We've seen videos from the FCT and, of course, Lagos State. Well, joining me is who I call the political Rasta. And this is one person who's been involved in a lot of protests over the years. In his time, I'm guessing that he's hung his boots this time around and he's saying the baton has been handed over to you youngsters. Go ahead and blossom. Eugene Abel is joining us. So, of course, Professor Richard Nwokocha is going to also join us. We're going to be discussing the legalities surrounding this protest so far. But Eugene, it's so good to have you join us. I'm shocked that you're not protesting today. I'm shocked.
Well, what?
Why? Why are you not protesting?
This is just people expressing themselves. We've been quite expressive continuously. Our protest is the daily one, so I don't have to carry a banner. If you type it on Google, you see my videos, you see my perspectives. We've been warning about this coming to pass, and now it has happened, and we shouldn't see it negatively. We should see it as a feedback mechanism so that they can change. Now that it's happening early, there's enough time for them to make amends and change things.
Great, perfect. Let's start by looking at, all that's been happening. We have so many videos coming from Lagos. We've seen videos from Abuja. In fact, Kano turned really, really violent. We've seen a lot of looting happen. In fact, one of our media vehicles was vandalized in the process. Thank goodness our reporters are safe. But what do you make of the turnout in today's protest? Because for many people, they thought that this protest was not even going to happen in the first place.
I did a post yesterday on Facebook where I said that hunger has defied ethnicity, religion, and politics. That the politicians across the divide are quavering in their boots. And this is a reflection of it. Yes, you didn't mention Delta State. Asaba had a slight incident too.
Oh, they did. I've not seen any video from Delta, and I kept saying I haven't seen anybody from Delta. So they had a slight incident.
Yes, the heavy police presence from what we've seen from the media. Asaba was active. Yeah.
Great. So the one of the questions that someone asked today was, why is the Southeast conspicuously not part of this protest? Are they not hungry? Are they not Nigerians? But then it is a sore point, whether we like it or not, for the people in the Southeast, isn't it?
Yeah, there were slight activities in Anambra State. We showed that on telly. But I think, don't forget, the Southeast have been under siege for over 2 years now because of the activities of IPOB. And if people are being careful, already the politicians in power are saying that if you lost an election, go back, don't look for, you're trying to get to power through a protest. You know what the allusion means. So I think it is safer for them to just stay quiet, and they're used to lockdown, so it doesn't make any difference. They just add it as one more day for them to rest. But the way it's good that they didn't participate, so nobody can accuse them of fronting an obedient agenda.
Because many people kept saying, why is the Southeast pulling out of this process? And they started talking about it quite early in the day that, they were not going to participate. And they kept calling out on, their people to stay away from the process so that they will not be accused of it. And if we cast our minds back to the NSAS process in Lagos State, and where a palace was, taken down by certain unscrupulous elements, fingers were pointed in that direction too. I'm guessing that this might be one of the reasons why they're saying, well, we'll try not to be part of this process. But does it justify what Nigerians are pushing for, really, if it's one-sided?
It's very justified. Like we've a couple of times we've spoken here that the vibes, the optics we're getting from the government is that they're still in a victory mood. They're yet to, with the activities of the last 72 hours, you could see them addressing the issues, press conferences, they're talking here, town hall meetings. These are the things that should have been done ab initio. But so when you wake up 9 p.m. morning, hopefully they're awake. Yes. And I think that they should stop borrowing these old scripts. For me, for the people to have given you notice, they say, if I no love you, I not go complain, I'll vote with my feet. People complained because they gave the government a chance. So they had the time to prepare and to engage people. And the engagement should not be the traditional engagement where you just come out and read, but you need to come out and show clear performance indices, not statistics, that this is what we're doing to arrest this issue. This is where we are. And I think you saw I don't know if you saw the video by Aisha Yusuf addressing the victory. You heard what she said concerning that if they were successful in what they were doing, despite the amount of money spent, farmers will have gone to the farms and there will have been food, and prices of food will have been impacted this negatively. And if they had been successful in the Niger Delta, we wouldn't be losing crude oil this fast and diminishing our foreign exchange revenues. So that was a major point that was sold there. So for the government, I like what the Minister for Information did, where he gathered the ministers, I think yesterday. I didn't know that Nigeria could have social security. It was nice listening to them. And, you see, it brings them to reality. They've branded it all kinds of names. Oh, Northern, Southern, this. The people, hunger is a unifier. And I can't even stop a protest, trust me.
Well, there have been several, finger pointings happening. Bayo Nanuga goes on social media and says that Peter Obi is behind it. Mr. Vice President blames diaspora. He says it's the diaspora guys, the idiots and the bandits in the diaspora. Mind you, the same guys who contributed to our Commonwealth, he pointed fingers at them. The only person that seemed to be a little wise in his appeal was Mr. President, who came out to say, I hear you. I'm going to try to do something, yes. But it might not happen immediately. Yes. And then we see a former governor, Wike, saying, these are people who lost the elections. Yes, these are people who lost elections. They're the ones who are, behind this protest. It's purely political. And so too many different messagings coming from our political leaders. And it really makes the average person wonder if government really is indeed going to do something about this protest. And then the other question is, even if we protest, even if we were allowed to protest in the way and manner we wanted to, what will it achieve?
Well, first of all, like we said earlier on your program, on this forum, that the optics from the government is one of the things that have contributed to where we are. Several people are speaking. We needed one sane voice to speak the mind of the government. Mm-hmm. And for that to have happened, they will have had meetings, not just borrow a script from the old book, whereby you need to label people. That meeting should have been, how did we lose the people? What can we do? You remember the famous speech by former Vice President who, when he was acting president, and that speech when he said, "We hear you clearly." It was such a touching speech, and it calmed a lot of nerves. That's the kind of thing we have to do. The likes of Maryann Okon should stop. They should give him some other role. Maybe he's forgotten how unsuccessful Lai Mohammed was, and he has become very unsuccessful. He's quite a departure from the Maryann Okon we used to know back in the days, where we used to go and queue to buy his publication, Temple newspaper. Yes, it's unfortunate, whereby when a baby cries, he knows where all the witches are. This is not the way to address a nation of 200 million people. You have challenges. When you removed subsidy and you floated the naira, or immediately you knew and you announced it that the volume of naira available with you will increase, and you did not have a conversation with the subnationals so that you can, not that you direct them, but you agree on the areas to move this money to, so that to cushion the effects of all of what's happening. As at yesterday, as at day before yesterday, fuel is already selling at 1,000 naira per liter in some parts of Nigeria. In Port Harcourt, I bought at 850. On Wednesday, I bought from Abuja for 850 naira. Some people are already buying at 1,000. So what if the president had said, okay, let us suspend every form of tax, every cost on a liter of petrol. For now, the government will bear that brunt. Then automatically the price of a liter of petrol will come down. We know now that government is carrying that cost automatically. Because if you ask them, they will break it down, the various taxes and levies on a liter of petrol, why it is 850, they make the landing cost. Yeah. So people want to see those direct, effective measures that will impact them. And tell us your plan. What is your plan for Nigeria? Where are we going to? How are we going about it? Yesterday, without pre-information, we're seeing a breaking news that $500 million is about being borrowed for securing the dams. What dams? What dams? How many of them are functional? What are their contributions? Wouldn't have been made proper, whereby somebody will have come and laid the proper framework that we want to borrow and invest in this infrastructure because we are generating X amount of electricity from it, or for security concerns because of irrigation matters. That kind of, we need to become deliberate. These people, now they form my hand, and I saw from Lagos, go for show. I'm not seeing the show. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it.
Okay, Professor Richard Nwokocha just joined us now. Professor Nwokocha, thank you very much for joining us. It's interesting. I'm sure that you've seen all that's played out, especially I'll use Lagos as a case study. First and foremost, the Oro Festival was...
it's been a long day. And,
yeah, okay. Thank you for joining us. The Oro Festival was first thrown at Lagosians that, so people should not come out. The Oro Festival is what I would call in my place Akata. It comes out at night. No woman is supposed to see it,
I agree to you.
I greet you, my brother, and my senior.
and then, of course, we now also saw the court order saying that certain people could not protest in certain areas. I want us to talk about the legality because, this issue of protest, the president, just as I said to Eugene, the presidency has said, yes, you have a right to protest. You can do it peacefully. But the fact that we're getting court orders now to stop people from peaceful assemblies or their freedom of association or movement, where does that leave us? Because again, it brings us back to your constituency, Mr. Professor, sir. We're getting all kinds of court orders these days, and that's also the reason why Rivers State is having a clash of sorts between the previous governor and the sitting governor.
Well, it's as worrisome as you find it. The Constitution guarantees certain freedoms, and it makes them fundamental. In making them fundamental, the Constitution gives the impression that we cannot have a full human life without these rights. And among those rights, as you know, are the right of assemblies. Now, there's an expression, and this expression is fully preserved by the Constitution, guaranteed by the Constitution. In fact, some of the strictest parts of the Constitution that you cannot easily amend is Chapter 4. For the National Assembly to amend it, they need 4/5 majority, not 2/3. So the Constitution intentionally guarantees these rights and entrenches them in a manner that they cannot be easily toyed with. It is worrisome, as you have said. We are getting all kinds of court orders that are sometimes quite worrisome. What the law does in assuring your freedom of expression and the right of dissent is to say, look, there are responsibilities. Your rights end where the rights of the next man begins. Your freedom of protest goes with the responsibility for any unlawful outcome of protests. And every system and every nation must be ready to hold those who exercise that right to account should that happen. But to say that you will restrict them, you can't restrict them without restricting their fundamental right to freedom of movement. The highest we should hear a government say, please, when you are marching, let's know the designated areas so that we can redirect traffic. Or if you're on a road, please use one part so that motorists who are going about their lawful business can use the other part and stuff like that. If you make such interventions, we will know you are trying to preserve the rights of others. But to confine people to a particular space doesn't appear to me to be a logical extension of what the restrictions on those rights can be read to mean. So I think it is as worrisome as it comes. But the truth again is that this is a right, a fundamental one guaranteed by the Constitution. Prepare to hold people accountable should it be extended beyond the constitutional guarantee, and to insist that they can only congregate in a particular place.
Still talking about where people's rights end and where the others start. We saw the very well-known former militant Asarido Kubo conduct a press conference of sorts, almost threatening Nigerians who wanted to protest and saying that, his friend's turn and people are trying to unseat his friend. And I'm wondering if the hungry person or the people who are unable to pay their children's school fees, who are unable to buy medicine at the hospital, those who can even afford a meal a day because their take-home pay no longer takes them home, are trying to unseat his friend. In that video, there are threats. There are things that are being said that on a normal day, these are the things that the police should look into. But of course, that's not being done. So again, when we see these kinds of things and the court is bringing out its own judgment for Lagos State, and we've also seen governors who have said, if you come outside, it means that you are against us. How do we interpret all of these things legally? Is there a cause for us to say this is something we can hold on to for tomorrow's sake? I'm trying to make sense of it all. Is there a legal perspective, an angle that Nigerians can hold on to with all of these things that are playing out?
Well, the thing about the law and about rights is that, as I have always said, whenever you threaten one man's right, you threaten your own right. You threaten your entitlement to your own right. But if you put it the other way, it means that freedom of expression and freedom to protest is protected by the Constitution. That also means that another man's expression is protected. So, as Asari said, if he says, I am anti-protest, he's expressing his own opinion, and he's entitled to it. And if he says, do not protest within my space, if you come close to me, I take that to mean if you go beyond the scope that is your scope and you extend to him. We are taught right from the beginning of the study of the law that you are free to stretch your hand, but it stops 1 inch to the nose of your neighbor. If it hits his nose, then you have infracted his own rights and entitled to react. But not to say that others should not express their own right of expression, because in saying that I am anti-protest, you recognize the fact that others can be pro-protest.
Okay.
And if we are to recognize your right, you must recognize the right of others.
Okay.
So definitely, you can't say, no, you cannot protest in an area. I am afraid you can't say that. To say that is to lose your right to also claim to be entitled to protest free space.
Okay.
Automatically, you lose that right as well, yes.
We'll come back after this break because, I mean, this is a very exciting conversation. Where your right stops, mine begins. And then I cannot trample on your right in order for me to enforce my right. So there has to be a balance of sorts. We'll be right back after these messages.
Meals, don't compromise. Go for gold.
Rich, consistent taste for cooking mouth-watering soups, stews, and jollof. Choose wisely. Choose Gold. Terra Gold Seasoning Cube.
1 cube. Endless possibilities. Terra Gold.
Looking for broadband that's top of the line? With VDT Broadband, you'll do just fine. Capable service, so fast speed, affordable rates, meets all your needs. VDT, always there for you and me. VDT, connecting you happily. Round the clock, our service is prime. VDT Broadband every time.
For that buzzing internet in Lagos, choose VDT Broadband. Now, 52 banks also trust VDT for their enterprise internet. Yes, 52 banks. Plus, enjoy VDT LTE internet with data rollover and free night browsing for the SME plan. And remember, VDT keeps you at ease with 24/7 customer service. So call 090-629-02983 or visit www.vdtcoms.com to get your own data plan today.
Tell me which kind of thing Viva no fi wash away. Jenna tomato paste or coffee stain your body. Viva go wash away. Chicken for your clothes now all you need for Viva to wash away. Gentle for your pocket, gentle for your hand. Oh my Viva, you good and make you shine. Oh Viva, oh no. I love my Viva, oh no. Uncle say bye bye to very top stage, yo. Oh no. Mama say bye bye to any kind stage, yo. Oh no. Oh Viva, oh no. I love my Viva.
Who says you can't have it all with one play?
I got that defined point. You have just won yourself
20,000! Congratulations!
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Melitus. One player, don't cost for 2 players because you won 20K.
So now you won yourself 20,000 naira!
My name is Well Done.
Okay, well done. We want to tell you, well done. You won yourself 20,000 naira.
With 500 naira, you can play to win big. From 120,000 naira to 190,000 naira daily on Nigeria Info. Go to oneplay.ng and play with 500 naira. And in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. Or dial *347 *880 *3 hash. Win daily on Nigeria Info. 50,000 naira on Morning Crossfire. 60,000 naira on WhatsApp Lagos. 20,000 naira on Sunnyside. And 60,000 naira on Game On. So Lagos, what are you waiting for? The more you play, the better your chances of winning. Remember to dial *347 *880 *3 hash. Play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18.
A brighter tomorrow begins with smart choices today. With the Union Correct account from Union Bank, you get to secure your tomorrow and get rewarded while at it. You can start saving with just 5,000 naira monthly and enjoy fantastic interest rates. Yes, you can save as low as 5,000 naira. That's not all. Every 6 months, you stand a chance to win amazing cash prizes of up to 500,000 naira. Correct! Make that move. Open the Union Correct account today. To get started, visit any Union Bank branch or log on to our website at www.unionbankng.com for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
My people, make a knock on this story. Make a yarn in these things where I don't do for me. Quality appliance, quality performance in abundance, energy na constance. This one no be one chance. 70% electricity saving for your AC. 50% electricity saving for your freezer. Refrigerator, washing machine, Tamukuno the shake out or show. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Everything surely comes to an end. That dinner, that mushy movie, even that long traffic. But there's one thing that doesn't. Enjoy truly unlimited data with Airtel Unlimited Speed-Based Plans. Visit www.airtel.com.ng/HBB to buy now. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
He's not always in the wind, nor in the quakes, nor the fire. What do you hear? Many times he speaks in a still, small voice. Join us Sunday mornings to hear his voice, praise him, and share your burdens. Morning Boost, 3 to 5 a.m. Sundays on 99.3 at Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Everyone says I'm beautiful and bold. They say I'm fashionable. And to crown it up, very confident. And my secret is...
People say I'm good looking, funny, hardworking, and to crown it up, very confident. And my secret is...
So whether in the office or at home,
in the streets or on the dance floor,
anytime, any day, I never lose my confidence. And the secret to my confidence is Wazobia perfume.
Absolutely. Wazobia perfume gives the authenticity and long-lasting fragrance all day. That's my secret confidence.
Wazobia perfume is available in body spray.
Also available in supermarkets and markets near you.
You can also get it on Jumia.
Wazobia perfume, the correct scent.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop and is it to stir? Dishes come alive with so much taste. Sonia tomato mix, of course. Sonia tomato mix, yes sir. Sonia tomato mix, stand up pouch.
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand up pouch.
So much in love.
This is a public service announcement. The moment you didn't know you've been waiting for is here. GT Co is offering shares to the public. From Monday 15th July 2024 to August 12th 2024, you have the opportunity to own shares of GT Co PLC when you apply to the GT Co public offering of 9 billion ordinary shares at 44 naira 50 kobo per share. This means that at 44 naira 50 kobo per share, you can now share in our vision and own shares of GT Co PLC. To apply, simply go to the GT Co website at www.gtcoplc.com or visit any GT Bank branch nationwide or any receiving agent listed in the offer prospectus. Offer is open from 15th July to August 12th, so don't delay. Apply now to own shares of GT Co. GT Co. Proudly African, truly international.
Get ready for the ultimate showdown of intellect and persuasion. The I Beg to Differ National Debate Tournament kicks off on the 12th of August 2024, and it is going to be epic. Witness a thrill of high-stake arguments, insightful rhetoric, and unbeatable wit. The sharpest minds from Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt will clash for the prestigious title of National Debate Champion. Who will rise to the top and claim the ultimate crown? Well, tune in to 99.3 Nigeria Info Lagos, 95.1 Nigeria Info Abuja, and 92.3 Nigeria Info Port Harcourt, Monday through Thursday, 4 o'clock, and experience the power of persuasive debate like never before. I Beg to Differ, the Tournament of Champions.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
We're back. We're still looking at the protests that started today. Of course, the End Bad Governance protest, and it's day one. I have still with me Professor Richard Aduche Nwokocha. I also have Eugene Abels, both gentlemen talking about the protests. And for those of you who know, Eugene has been in the forefront of protesting. And of course, Professor Nwokocha is here giving us a legal perspective to it. I love how you said, Professor, that, you know, there has to be some sort of balance in our rights in terms of, you know, where mine starts and when the other guy's own stops, you know. But then I can't say that because I have a right, then your right doesn't matter. So there has to be a balance. And I'm emphasizing this because of the guests, or rather our listeners. So people don't say, I'm saying you cannot protest because the last time they protested, they destroyed everything. So you don't come out and protest. So, I mean, I'm guessing that if I say I don't believe in protest, well, you can go ahead and protest, but I'm not going to come out and protest. It doesn't mean that because I don't believe in it, every other person can't protest. Anyway, we've got a video that we want to put up, which we hear is Abuja, between Abuja and Kefi. We're seeing that, I'm seeing smoke in the air. I'm hoping that cars are not being burned. I'm hoping that it has not turned that violent. But if you're looking at that video, you can tell that all is not necessarily well. And one would have thought that in the FCT, and Eugene, this is coming back to you, one would have thought that in the FCT things would be very calm, being that Mr. President had really appealed to the people in Abuja. We saw the FCT minister have a town hall with all these young people, and they all agreed and chanted that they were not going to. But what we're seeing is the total opposite. And I'm wondering, as an Abuja boy, what's happening?
Prof, your mic is, you need to unmute your mic, Prof.
Yes, it's unmuted now.
Okay.
Yeah. Now
it was deliberate to enable me. Yes.
Okay.
Concerning the utterances of my brother Sarid Okubo, it was at the painful part that happened at a government event.
Yes.
And 1, 2, we even saw the people who said no to protests being allowed to be carried in convoys to come and face people who are saying they want to protest. Like Prof said, you're stretching your hand to touch my nose. Now, if you check on Twitter, you see Reno Mokri asking, telling, calling out P2B. I don't know why the man has not sued him in America by now. Libel, yeah. And just clean him out. You're calling out the man that the rhetorics from him led to the violence in Kano and Kaduna. These are old scripts. Where we are, we've never been here before, after the Civil War. After the Civil War, there was no light in the whole of the South. There was no water. Lizards and rats used to run away from men. We're there. Just that this time around, we're not wearing tattered clothes. Because of the lack of understanding of that, that's why the Minister for FCT will say there will be no protest in the FCT. In the FCT, the challenge is not in the FCT itself. The challenge is in the surrounding communities. Maraba, Eyanya, Kubwa. They blocked the expressway. Both entries into whether you're coming from Nwokocha is blocked, whether you're coming from Gwagwalada is blocked, whether you're coming from Kaduna is blocked into the FCT. People have blocked it. So that's why you have millions of people living. Don't forget, these communities grew because of insecurity in the north and in the east. A lot of people have moved into Abuja. They can't afford rent in the major town, but they can afford rent in the suburbs. So, and it's scary. If you know the number of people in Kuje, they overrun the city in one day. So we don't need this old script. Engage the people. Nobody will beat you if you see what happened in Rivers State, where the governor came and met the protesters and listened to them and addressed them, which is the tradition. Yes, and when you do that, you take away the tension from the whole exercise because you've allowed them to express themselves. It's not when you've been accusing people all over the divide. People are coming up. If you don't want to protest, rest. Like the Prof said, all the leaders needed to do, what they need is for government to ask, where are you doing it so that we can ensure that you're protected in expressing yourself, and so that people don't hijack your protest, so that people don't use you as an excuse to loot properties and cause mayhem. But we haven't seen that. And I think we are trying to learn the hard way. I would like to advise that today is not important. The amount of work that will be done this night in reaching out to people and the optics from the government is what's most important. Because by tomorrow, more people will be emboldened to do more. This is just my 2 pence. Government will come down from that high camel, that high horse, come down, remove their agbada, and engage people with abeg. What can I give us time? Just time. Just talk to the people. It's not a high horse thing, because there's a bullet, no person. So the policeman who you are sending, is he happy? Is he happy? Meanwhile, he's seen a banner with a protester saying increase salary for policemen. You think he's not happy inside his mind that they're protesting on his behalf?
Professor Nwokocha, let me come to you. Eugene just said something about coming off the high horse for government to speak to the people. Back to Mr. President. This president has never addressed us. I mean, during the campaigns, we hardly saw him at any of those debates. He didn't show up. And many people are still clamoring for him to speak to us. He not speaking to us, does it mean that he doesn't care? Does it mean that he doesn't appreciate, the plight of the people? And why is it very, 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 very important, or of utmost importance, that he addresses us, especially as we know that he's not one to address the people at any point?
Well, a number of times I have stated in our conversations in the past that government is a sacred trust. It's not a place for powerful people. It's not a place for flexing of power. It's a place of responsibility. We are humble people who have assured their people that they can make their people's will come true. Go to, not for themselves, but to make the people's dream and will come true. So there is no reason in the first place why there should be a high horse or a high table. Where as a public officer, you consider yourself to be above the people and beyond the people. No. I have seen a number of changes in demeanor of public officers addressing citizens, and I wonder if we are in the moon or we are in a different planet. You see how other countries treat their citizens with responsibility and with respect. And you expect that yours will do the same thing. The Constitution is actually designed to do the same thing. Sovereignty belongs to the people. Government, powers of government are derived from the people through the Constitution. And you must treat the people as your employer. But you don't see that in Nigerian public space. So what Senior Eugene said is absolutely correct. We are not in a private business. We are in public business as public officers. And if the people have cause to dissent, or a large number of the people have cause to dissent, you owe them a responsibility to address them. I agree it's a complete duty on the part of the president to come out at a time like this, even before this day, and address Nigerians. These are your points. I have noted your points. This is what we are doing. This is what we are planning to do. This is the assurance we are giving that at so and so time, this is where we will be. These are our milestones. And we expect to be where you are looking at so and so time. When you give people assurance, they have something to hope for. They have something to suffer for. And that suffering, they are hopeful that somewhere along the line, they are going to get to an end of that suffering. But if you do not engage them, then you are in a private business and you are ruling them. You are not leading them. And that's not the intention of the Constitution. So this needs to stop. The government needs to be able to address the people, not from the point of, I am powerful, I am superior, I am declaring that there shall be no protest, there shall be no protest in this area and that area. No. You must come out and respond to the people. You owe them that as a responsibility. If our electoral system were working, this would not happen. Because a government that does this knows that.
But Prof, we've seen it's not just a President Tinubu issue. We've seen the previous President Buhari also, one that did not necessarily address Nigerians. And I remember very well one of his media aides saying, we're always asking him to address the people. Okay, if you address the people, what will happen? So, I mean, we can't just leave this at the feet of President Tinubu. We've seen it happen over time.
That's exactly where I was going before your question came in. If our electoral system were working, governments would be responsive and responsible. That is the purpose of election. Because a government that fails to respond to the people will immediately feel the impact at the next election. That system, if we were like Ghana, that party will be dropped at the next election, and the other party that promises to be more responsible will be given the opportunity. I think this is all happening. Our governments are sitting on a high horse because our electoral system does not return our vote of the people. So if results can be written and declared, you can be sure that government will be responsible towards the people. Or they will have no need to be responsible. Because what keeps them governments responsible to their people is the next election. So if that threat is off the way, governments will be the way governments have been in Nigeria, which is why we must look for a way to rejig our electoral system and ensure that the votes return the leaders.
All right.
Until that happens, you will continue to have governments that are not responsive and governments that are not responsible.
All right. Well, we want to
just like to
in 1 minute, Eugene, because our time is almost up. Go ahead.
I'd just like to chip something. You know, you made reference to the previous government that President Buhari didn't used to talk to us. He fell sick and became incapacitated to an extent, so we understood it. Are you saying that Maryann Okon is in the same situation?
No.
So if he's not in the same situation, he's obligated to speak to his people. He can decide not to talk to him, but let him talk to you. I'll be happy.
Well, Lagos, I want to bring you in for the next 2 minutes. I could take two calls, and then we could go to social media. While I'm waiting to take your calls, the phone lines are open, 020-1277-0993. You could drop your conversation or your questions and comment on our live feed. I'm looking at Facebook Live now. I want to read some of your messages quickly, and then we'll wrap up this conversation. I can take one quick call. Hello, welcome to A's and nays?
Yeah, Action Lady, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to our guest.
Go ahead, quickly, 60 seconds.
Yeah, people who are expecting this man to address the president, how did he get there? Like the Prof said, is it our election? Is it our vote that put him in there? Akpabio is saying all of this thing. Who asked Akpabio to be there? Is it not the president? He wants Akpabio, he wants Abbas, and he got it. And you're expecting him to address Nigeria. Come 2027, if we can stand our feet and say no to INEC and the security agents, then we know we have something to say about this, our president, but not this one, because it's not our vote that put him there. Thank you.
All right. It might not be your vote, but some people did vote for him, whether you like it or not. Hello. Apologies, do call us back. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Nenna. I'm calling from Zawesti.
All right, Nenna, go ahead. You have 60 seconds, quickly.
Yeah. I think the Prof said it all. We need a very, very credible electoral process. And this is what we should be asking for, too. And then we need, the president can easily cash in on this and bring down the cost of governance. Because whatever he says now, if he wants to bring down those monies that they take every month, he will just tell them. If they refuse, the people will go and sit there and ensure that he achieves it. And he shouldn't be thinking of second term at this time.
All right. Thank you, Nena. Very well said. I appreciate your thought. But I have to let you go, gentlemen, because our time is fast spent. I want to say thank you, Professor Richard Aduche Nwokocha, for being on the show with us. Eugene Abel, thank you so much, gentlemen. Eugene, please don't give up yet. You know you're still young. Don't give up protesting. You can't keep protesting on our behalf. And Professor, thank you and keep up the good work. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being part of the conversation this evening. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, Lagos, before we go, we got some information for you. When we come back, I'll be saying my goodbyes. Stay with us.
Are you BSc and HND holder in any business-related field? Do you own a car, reside in Lagos, and are willing to start immediately? Do you have prior knowledge of
99.3 Nigeria Info? We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.